Welcome back, everybody. I recently picked up these 3 lots at a local auction. I was not able to go and preview the auction before the bidding, and it was an online sale, so I did not see any of these tools until I actually picked them up from the auction. And I have not looked through them since I picked them up, so as I film this will be the first time that I see what's actually in these boxes. I'm going to start over here with the wrenches, because that'll be the box with the least amount of surprises in, since it was fairly easy to see what this had in the photos on the auction. And $643, I paid $80 for this box. That seems like a lot. Let's see what's in it. Now the truth is, I could see that it was all Craftsman USA wrenches and a couple of adjustables, and I will pay around $2 to $3 per wrench, depending on what they are. Obviously, this is not a good start, having an adjustable here that's missing the gear, but not the end of the world, because I may have one that is in worse condition where I can just steal that out of there and make this whole again, or it's not a lost cause anyway. But when I see adjustable wrenches in a box like this, I'll put like $3 to $5 on what I think they're worth. Here's another one. I'm thinking this is a 10-inch. Yes. So it's a 10-inch adjustable. Pretty good condition. Obviously made in the USA. So when I see that in the box, I'll, to me it's worth $3-4. So that's kind of how I look at a box like this online. I could see that it had, more than just combination wrenches. I could see that it had some of these tappet wrenches. There's at least 2 here without digging any further. And, those are always nice to have. And if you do sell them, they are about, $12 a piece, $15 a piece, depending on the size. And then if we move to like a wrench like this, depending who you are, you might call it a flex head socket wrench, a Soltis wrench. This one's in pretty nice shape. This is the old V, so it's going to have a narrow shank on it, narrow handle. They made 2 different versions of this, and the other version would have a little bit wider, more like the modern day. Let's see, here's a 5/8. So right there, they're pretty much lined up, and you can see how much thicker the handle is underneath. So if you're trying to put a set of these together, make sure you know which ones you have, so that way you don't buy the wrong one if you go online or wherever you are when you find it. And last thing on a wrench like this, I'll usually put like $5-6 value on this. These are a little harder to find. This one's in pretty nice shape. I didn't know that in advance, of course. And then I see it has a stubby wrench, a box end wrench. To me, I'll pay $3 for these all day. Now this one is a little different. I'd have to see some other stubbies to compare it. I don't know that there's any in this box. I see there's, oh yeah, here we go. And here's, well, is there any more? Okay, so now I don't know if this is how they were all made. Okay, these are all the V stamp, V code, as you see there. And I don't know if these were all made that way. I'd have to see if I have some newer ones. So what I was looking at is, if you see the front panel there where it says Craftsman, it doesn't have the lines like all these do. See how that has the lines on either side of the Craftsman? And in the V-code wrenches, the combination wrenches, they had both one with and without the lines. Again, if you're trying to put a set together, make sure to look for that so you don't have mismatched wrenches. But I'd have to look to see if I have other stubbies that are not V, and or maybe they are V and they have the lines, but yeah, just something to look for when you're trying to match up sets. There are some subtle differences in these raised panel wrenches, but the stubby wrenches, I definitely figure $3-4 a piece on those, what I'm willing to pay. And here's another one, this older one. This one is not stamped at all as far as the code, although it does have some sort of stamp there, which I can't make out. Looks like an O. I don't know if that's focusing. It looks like an O or something that's been smashed down where can't quite tell, but this one has a thin shank on it, thin handle. Here's just an old Sears wrench, Sears branded. If we could get that to focus there. It says Japan, I believe. Yeah, BF Japan. So now Craftsman also had BF Japan wrenches. So looks like Sears and Craftsman both had wrenches made by that manufacturer. I also like these offset box wrenches. I'll usually figure $3-4 on each one of these when I'm buying them. So there's let's see, so I see 5 of those in here. Of course, they're all SAE, all the older V series. So far, just based on what I've been telling you, that I would give $3-4 per item here. We got about $40 that I would pay. Now these are in the photo, but I'm not including those in the count. Also in this box we have this large, I believe it's going to be a 24-inch half-inch drive extension, Craftsman. And then I think we're down to combination wrenches. This is a Great Neck, so we won't count that one. This is a Sears, but looks like all these are going to be SAE. Well, no, there's 10 millimeter here, so I guess that's one of the best ones to have if you're going to have a couple metric thrown in. Oh, here's another box wrench. I didn't even see a stubby. So in this box, I actually count 22 more wrenches. Basically, that comes out to around $2 a wrench that I would have paid for these. And that's what I would normally pay. I mean, depending on size, depending on condition, I'll pay up to $3 for something like under 11/16. And if we get up to that 13/16 on up, I'll pay, 5 and beyond. So this wasn't a great deal, but I would have paid it if I would have saw it in person. I'm going to move on to this box with the pliers because, again, there'll probably be a few surprises in here, but I think this last box is going to have the most surprises just because there's a bunch of little stuff all kind of piled in there, and I couldn't see what it was. I don't even know what I paid for it. We'll look at the sheet, but starting over here with the pliers, this is lot 635. And then, so lot 635 here is pliers, wrenches, adjustables. I paid $65 for this box. So starting off here, we have a Craftsman water pump pliers, or tongue and groove pliers, whatever you want to call it. Got a newer era channel locks 420. This is a little different. This is something I have not seen before. I think it says Interlake model E14B0, I believe, or BO. Little made in the USA, spring loaded. I would guess that's some sort of a metal shear, metal cutter, maybe for cutting like straps on shipping straps or whatever on pallets. I imagine it's something like that without looking it up, but I'll look it up, see if I can't find what it is. There's a green handle. I'm going to hope this is a diamond, and it is. I do collect diamond tools. I like it when they have the green handles on them. If I have one that's in lesser condition than this one, I'll trade it, swap them out. This looks like it could be an old Craftsman, which it is. It's not old. It is made in the USA. It does have the black handles on them. There's different eras of black handles. Some of the black handles are more like this matte finish. I don't know if you're able to pick that up well, and these are more of the shinier, glossy finish. Now this one's kind of dirty, but if I clean it up, those handles are going to be a little bit more shiny. But I don't believe it's stamped. I believe it's almost laser etched, so it's not that old. And then of course we'll just move on to this Craftsman handy cut. These have that razor blade in them, great for cutting like hoses, getting a nice clean straight cut. I think they make a few different sizes of this. I think this might be like the medium size. Here is a broken, I believe it'd be a fence pliers. I think that's what that was. Should have had like another jaw with a hammer on it. That one's broken, so that one's probably going in the trash. Here's a diamond, horseshoe dimalloy. Same basic pliers as the one we just saw that was broken. This one looks to be in fairly nice condition. And a lot of times the hammerhead is all smashed down and mushroomed. This one's not. That's a very nice pliers right there. So far I would say this box is probably going to be a better deal than the one with the wrenches. I guess we'll see what the rest of these are. This is a Chinese made pliers. This looks like something cheap that would be like for a spark plug puller or something like that. Not a spark plug puller, but a boot puller. Here we have a lineman pliers. So I'm thinking this lineman pliers is a companion. I'm having a hard time reading it, but maybe you're able to pick it up. But either way, it's a pretty good pliers. It's in nice shape. The cutter looks to be in pretty good shape, so we'll keep that one around. This looks like a Craftsman. It is. It's another WF. See, now this one also seems to be like laser etched. Good focus on that thing. So this one also seems to be laser etched, like the last one I showed you. But these are the grainier looking handles, not the smooth handles. So I'm pretty sure this is the newer version. But the fact that the other one is laser engraved, I would say it's not that old. The older ones are stamped. All right, moving on here, we have a Dunlop tongue and groove water pump pliers. Dunlop, I believe, was a Sears brand back in the day. Kind of has a neat detail on the handle. All right, next up we got this little side cutter, diagonal cutter. It's marked Japan on that side. So it is the Craftsman BF. So earlier in this haul you saw the Sears BF Japan. So this is made by the same manufacturer, I assume. And I don't know if these were sold side by side with Craftsman USA or if they were sold by another vendor. Here we have another side cutter, diagonal cutter. It looks a lot like a Craftsman, although I don't see a name of any sort. I'll have to look closer later, but definitely looks like a Craftsman. Looks like one I already own. But yeah, some of these that were like laser engraved or just barely even printed on, it wore off pretty quickly. They did that in the later dates. All right, well, here we have another diamond. This is a SL59NE. This is a pretty good size lineman pliers, but you can see the blade. I'm thinking it's damaged. I know some people would put a notch in there to use it as a wire stripper, but this one, if that's what that is, they didn't do a very good job. I'm thinking they probably just cut something they shouldn't have cut with it. Although it didn't damage the upper blade, so who knows. Here's a rusty, what do we got there? Channel locks, probably a 420. Looks like somebody tried to scrape it away to see what it was, but rusty channel locks, but that's pretty light surface rust. That should clean up just fine. A little evapor rust probably make that look like new. Got a nice little needle. Well, it's like a duckbill flat nose. Again, I'm not seeing a maker, but they look like they're pretty well made. And here's a regular needle nose. I'm seeing Craftsman on that one. It's pretty faint, but it is there. Here we have some sort of a nipper. Well, maybe it's not. It doesn't come all the way together. Not seeing any sort of markings or brands on that one. Got a big slip joint here. I don't see a name on this one. I'm guessing that's stamped by a previous owner. Still looks like a pretty good usable pliers though. Alright, next up we got this little guy here. I believe this is a wire cutter. Here we got a no-name slip joint. Or maybe it is stamped there. Next up we have this pair of needle nose. I think the name is, I don't know if it's P-E-R-I, but it's stamped Italy. I'm not sure I've ever had a pair of pliers from Italy before. Those are kind of unique. And down here we have another one of those slip joint pliers. This is Electrolyte, which I believe at some point became part of SK. Next is slip joint pliers. I see a marking there, V19. It's got a marking here. I can't make any of it out. But good little slip joint. We have a Klein lineman pliers here. That'll focus. This one does have a crimper in there. Now I don't know if these were made with a crimper or if the person using it made the crimper. Comment below if you know that's how they were sold. Looks like somebody put their name in the back. Cutter's in good shape. Another lineman pliers here. This is Taiwan made. Another pliers like we had earlier. Here's another needle nose. Looks like it says made in India or something like that. And another slip joint. I'm not seeing a name on these. Here's a slip joint Craftsman. This is the one that's like multi-ply steel. I don't think that these were sold for very long. And the last one in this box is another style of slip joint pliers. I don't see a name on these. And that's it for the pliers. Moving on to the last lot here, 657. 657 is a variety of tools. That was $22. Now I don't know if these sold well back in the day, but I'm pretty sure everybody over 40 has a wrench like this. I don't know if it was a gimmick tool or if they actually worked well. I've never used one. I've probably had a dozen or more. Here's a wrench, W&T. I don't know off the top of my head what that stands for. I'll look it up. This is a very thin profile wrench. And it's not marked what the sizes are, but definitely an inch and over. Here is a chain breaking tool. I believe that's what that is considered. I do see some markings on there, but I can't make it out. It is made in the USA, I can see that much. Here's a bolt cutter head. I do see it is made by Porter. All right. Some sort of a cutter. It's like a paper clip that would go right through a piece of paper. Not sure what this is. Some sort of a cutter, obviously. Next up we have this little tool. Obviously it's marked Yamaha. There's the side view. No idea what it does. I don't know if it's for motorcycles. Yeah, no clue on that one, but if you know what that is, just go ahead and drop it in the comments. Got a couple of pipe cutters here. Here's a rigid. Those are always handy to have a few of those laying around. And then here's one that says IMP, IMP. And I know that they threw these in with a few different sets. This one's Imperial Eastman. I believe the Blue Point, maybe even the Snap-on has these in them. I know the Blue Point for sure. Here's another one of those cutters. Here's some gears out of what I believe would be a grinding wheel dresser, just kind of flatten them back out, although there's obviously no handle for it that I can see. Here's a torch tip. Here's another jaw to a bolt cutter. So, you know, a number of these things will just go into trash. I should probably keep bins of trash steel. Maybe they were actually worth something. Here is a strange looking tool. I don't know if it's homemade. There's no markings on it. Obviously it's got a couple of prongs on. A couple different possible uses there. Hole punches down here. There's a couple hole punches, and then there's almost like a hole punch end, like there would be an interchangeable piece in here. I don't know what that is for sure. I don't know if it's like a little spoke wrench. I don't see any sort of branding on it. What have we got here? HKP, excuse the helicopter noise, jaws for HK Porter cutters. Okay. Well, sure enough, brand new set of jaws. That's pretty cool. I like the old artwork on the box. I'd keep it just for that. All right. As you can see so far, I'm definitely going to need some help on what some of this stuff is. This being one of those items included. Here's a spark plug gapper. Here's a little glass cutter. Red Devil. Here's a little utility blade box cutter. And another glass cutter down here. Black Panther, I think that says. And we have a spark plug chaser. Put down the spark plug hole in the head. So I don't know if this is just spare pieces of rod. Oh, this one's interesting. This is a handle for a breaker bar, so you can make it a T-handle. I'm not seeing a brand on it, but I'll definitely keep that around. Those are always seem to be lost. I would imagine most US made bars like this would be branded. Here we got a neat little hex set. It is marked USA. Got a mystery piece here. Got it. Looks like somebody made a handle for something here. Another one of these cutters in here. Almost got my finger in that one. All right, here's a punch. Blue Point. End is still pretty good on it, so that's a good one. Keep that one around. All right, next up we have some sort of a scale, I believe. Looks like it has a C in the top. Not sure who that would be made by, but that's kind of cool. Another spark plug gapper. A little ratcheting screwdriver here. Craftsman. Couple sets of feeler gauges. We got a Lufkin set here. Fingers are getting cold, so I'm starting to drop stuff. Here's a Starrett. It says made in the USA on that side. Not seeing a brand on that one. Oh, so if we recall at the beginning, there was that so I wonder if this was intended for this. So now I'm just missing the screw. All right, I don't know what this is. It looks like it's definitely got a purpose. So this is a chain breaker tip replacement for the chain tool. So maybe it goes with that one that was in the box here. So I've seen these before. These are made by Miller's Falls actually. And I don't know if this is just basically, you know, for making a hole in a piece of wood. I know that I've seen them before, but I just can't quite remember what the purpose of them is for. So I know I've seen these before, I just don't remember 100% what the purpose is. I mean, it seems simple enough to say that they're just for making holes in a piece of wood. They probably have a number on them somewhere. Oh yeah, right there. So I can look that up. I think these are hard to come by. So I'll look it up and I'll post it. You have a couple more sets of feeler gauges here. Too dirty to see a name on those. This is just the guts out of one of them, I think. Maybe not. I think we have a marking tool here, maybe made out of wax or something. I'm guessing that's bent. Here we have a little set of feeler gauges. I believe these might be, I don't know if that's brass or copper. Here we have a little snap-on battery terminal puller. It is missing the T-handle. That's not the end of the world. Pretty easy to get a little rod that goes in there. We got a very narrow punch on a very thick handle. I'm not surprised it's bent. We have a screw starter, I believe this is. Snap-on. Usually they're blue point. So I believe that's for holding screws to get it. I don't know if it's to get them started or just so they don't slip out of your fingers. We have another one here. This one is Aircraft Specialties Incorporated, Michigan. The long handle. And then it looks like to end the box here, we got another one here. And this one is marked as well. But all I'm seeing is made in the USA, no actual maker. So that's the mystery box. That's everything for this one. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.